Hi, I'm Jim Brogan. I cannot tell you how excited I am today. I'm doing a cut of meat I've never done before. I didn't even know until a few months ago that it even existed. It's called a cap of ribeye. Welcome to Smoking with Jim. So what we've got here is a cap of ribeye. Now here's what they do with this. So the cap of ribeye, if you think about the ribeye steak, think about when you've eaten a whole ribeye. You've got that center part of the ribeye that's the center cut. Then you've got that layer of fat around it. And then on the very outside, you have this cap. That is the cap of ribeye. And so what they do is they cut off the whole cap of ribeye, and then they slice off a chunk of it and they roll it into a ribeye cap steak. And so if you see here, it looks like it's actually a thick cut of filet mignon or some other kind of steak, but what it is actually is it's a rolled cap of ribeye. Now the cap of ribeye is considered to be the king's cut of steak. It's got the tenderness of a filet and the marbling of a ribeye. Now I have never done a cap of ribeye, so I'm very excited, and today that's what we're going to do. Now I'm going with my traditional steak flavoring. Since this is the first time I've doing a cap of ribeye, I don't want to mess up. So I'm going with my kind of standard. So now I'm going to do the other side. I'm going to start off with some kosher salt. Kosher salt is so good. Then I'm going to go with my coarse black pepper. And I'm going to do that. Coarse black pepper. Rub it on there kind of good. And now finally, we got to go with garlic powder. Garlic powder, a lot of people don't like to put it on a steak, but I have found it just makes it so flavorful. So that's what I'm going to do for my seasoning. Now I'm going to let it hang out here for about 30 or 40 minutes, and then we're going to start cooking. All right, it's time to sear the steak. I'm going to my traditional steak cooking for my first cap of ribeye, which is I'm going to sear it first. Then I'm going to cook it on indirect heat on the grill. So I've got my cast iron skillet here. I love to do it in cast iron. And here's my steak. I've got this nice and hot. Now, a lot of times I would put in just a touch of grapeseed oil so it doesn't stick. But with this ribeye, it's got so much marbling in it on this cap of ribeye, I really don't think I'm going to need that because it's got so much flavor and fat in it. So I'm going to go ahead and put it on, and I'm going to do 2 minutes on each side. Okay, I've been searing for 2 minutes, and now it's time to flip it. Let's see what this sear looks like. Oh man, look at that sear. All right, now we're gonna go 2 minutes on this side, and then we'll pull it and put it on the grill on indirect heat. But look at the blackening on that ribeye. That looks awesome. Okay, it's been 2 minutes on this other side. Now we're gonna pull it. Let's see what that other side looks like. Oh man, look at that. Okay, now we're gonna pull it and we're gonna put it on the grill. Okay, for this I'm gonna use my gas grill because it's my trusted grill for steaks. I'm gonna put it on indirect heat. So what I've done is I've got the left and right burner on, and the center burner, I've brought it up to temperature and then I've turned it off. And I've got this heated up about 375 to 400 degrees, and now I'm gonna put this on, and I'm gonna set it right here on indirect heat, and I'm gonna close her up. And it's gonna take about 12 or 13 minutes to get up to a good medium rare or so. So now we're gonna let her cook. Okay, I've been on here for almost 12 minutes, and I've got my fillets down to a science. Now this is, on the one hand, it's a big cap of ribeye, it's 10 ounces. On the other hand, it's not solid meat, it's rolled, right? And so normally if I had solid meat, I'd cook this for a good 15 minutes on indirect heat after doing the sear. But it's been now right at 12 minutes. So I'm gonna check this temperature because I'm thinking it's gonna cook a little quicker since it's not as solid. So let's check this. All right. I want it right around 130 degrees. You know what? That's not done. I'm gonna need to leave it a little bit longer, and we'll check it here in a minute. Okay, it's been right at 15 minutes. Now I checked the temperature earlier. It had not quite come up hot enough. I said 130 because then when I pull it, it's gonna heat up about 5 degrees, about 135. It'll be just maybe medium rare or a touch over, which is how Dee Dee and I like it. I'm not even gonna check the temperature because I've done steaks enough on this grill and with this method, with searing it on the cast iron, that I just know it's going to be great. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to pull this off the grill. And I mean, look at that steak. How good does that look? And we're going to go ahead and set it. And then I'm going to let it set for about 5 minutes, and then we're going to cut into it and see how it is. Okay, it's my first cap of ribeye. It's been setting out for 5 minutes, and now it's time to cut into this. I hope I've cooked it well. Now, this is wrapped in a piece of butcher twine because, as I said, it's a ribeye cap, so it's been rolled. Now, let's cut into this and see how it looks. Oh, man, look at that. It's a perfect medium rare to medium. Let's see how this tastes. Let's see this. That is tender. It's juicy from all the marbling. You know, it's got the 3 things you've got to have to cook great meat, and that is you got to have great product. I got this from Snake River Farms in Idaho. You've got to season it great, which is simply kosher salt, coarse black pepper, and a little bit of garlic powder, and then it's got to be cooked perfectly. But this cap of ribeye definitely lived up to its expectations. So I highly recommend it if you ever get a chance to get some cap of ribeye. Thank you so much for tuning in to Smoking with Jim.